A lot of people talk about innovation and ideas today. Worthless. Complete load of bollocks. Nothing. No, none of this. None of your. Who's got an idea here today? Well, I shouldn't have asked that now because nobody's going to say yes. It's not worth anything until you got the things that they were talking about in place. The most important thing in the team. It's no fun doing it alone. And it's not just the fun aspect. I mean, that is an important thing. Did you see the picture? It was Niall in your presentation. The picture of your entire team. That's what you work for. When we were at Zing, they asked me, why should I come here? Why shouldn't I go to work for Facebook? You know, why shouldn't I go and work for Microsoft or anything? Because we would show them literally something like that. Because when you're in there, what keeps you going through the dark moments when you can't pay yourself any money? It's the other people you're working with. Because you're part of something that's bigger than yourselves. And we all want to be part of something like that. So the other thing that I think somebody else mentioned was it Alan, it was you, wasn't it? It's about being crazy. And if you're sitting where I am now and you're making investment decisions, then you've got maybe an hour at most to decide the person sitting opposite you, or in my case, often it's through Skype, because I'm interviewing people, entrepreneurs from across the world. Is this person crazy? Which is good, that's what we want, right? We want crazy people. Or are they just on the other side of the line too, psychotic? Because we don't want that. They're too difficult to work with, right? And the only proxy that we have to be able to determine that, because we can't determine that for now. I don't ask for, reports from their psychologists or anything like that. The only thing we have is, can they manage to convince one or even better 2 other crazy people to join up to this idea? Because the likelihood, I'm just dealing in mathematics and probability, the likelihood that 3 psychotics are going to work in a room for 2 weeks is almost nil, right? So that's what we use as a proxy. So that's one thing that I think a lot of investors won't tell you. Doesn't mean that they have to have 1/3 of the company or half of the company or 20% use, but you've got to have people that you spend 12, 16 hours a day with, and you got to like them. You got to get along. And they are the ones that kick you when you're going off on a tangent somewhere and you want to go and try and boil the ocean, right? They're the ones that pull you back. The other important thing about having a team is that none of you, and I can tell that with absolute certainty, can do everything you need to do in your companies. Not one of you. If anybody wants to talk to me about anything else in terms of any other sort of stuff, I'm excellent at dispensing unsolicited advice. Dragon's Den, don't watch it. Even, I shouldn't say that because one of our investors is the new guy. Okay, watch it for entertainment purposes, but don't take that deal, ever. And I think, well, okay, that gets a little bit too close to home, doesn't it? But the Dragon's deal, I just watched it the first time the other night. 40% of your business for 15K? That doesn't work, guys. Those sums don't work at all. I can give you the sums that do work, but it's not those ones. So now we've got a bunch of people running around the country all trying to get 40% of your business or 60% of your business for a tiny amount of money. Don't sell out for that tiny amount of money. Your business, once you have these 5 things, is worth 100% of them is worth 5 million. And if you do go down the road of getting VC and getting angel investors and all that, and you've already given up 40 or 50% of your business, what's left to give to somebody with proper money? So find somebody who knows something about cap tables, and especially forward-looking cap tables. Come and spend some time down at Startup Bootcamp, or at NDRC Launchpad, or at Dogpatch, or any number of places that entrepreneurs can go to ask questions. The reason why, it was mentioned today, the reason why we're so giving of our unsolicited advice is because it's quite simple. Some of us like to hear ourselves talk a little bit. Me? And the rest of us are actually still in those days, we still have a very strong memory of when we were cold and hungry. And I literally mean cold and hungry. Not just the kind of thing that Steve Jobs was talking about. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Yeah, he wasn't really that hungry for that long. But a lot of us put ourselves back in the position where we are actually hungry, almost literally. Right? You went from 8 grand down to nothing and lived out of a small bedroom there in Sandy. He knows what hunger is like. And maybe you had the heat on, and maybe sometimes you didn't. But that's why we're quite willing to get back and remember what it's like. Last few words. And these are really, this one is really uncomfortable, especially for anybody in the careers department. There aren't any jobs. There really aren't. They're never going to be the kinds or the amount of jobs that we saw over the last 15 years. People are hiring in at 100,000 and 150,000 and 200,000, that sort of stuff. Create your own jobs and be your own boss, and you'll have a far better life. I think as these guys have already sort of attested to in terms of what they gave up and why they gave it up. Ireland's a great place to do it. I got to plug that. I don't sound it, but I was actually born here and I opted to come back in the middle of a financial meltdown because I saw an opportunity. Because there are things here available to all of us that are unique. We have a small country, very compact city if you're here in Dublin. When I send the teams out to get validation on their products and on their services, they just have to throw a stone. And they've got 10 or 20 or 30 people that are willing to spend time with them and their product, that know, oh yeah, that's Josie's cousin is a sister or blah, right? You know how it all works. And we don't have a market. Ireland is the size of Manchester. Anyway, we're all probably a little bit smaller than Manchester right now. So this isn't a market, it doesn't exist. It's very difficult to sell into. Even somebody who started out, selling into the Irish market is now selling to overseas companies. So if you're really building a global business, you're selling overseas to really big markets. Having said that though, it's a fantastic place to start, and if you fuck it up, very few people in the world are going to know about it. So you can always start again somewhere else, or you can start a new business and just reinvent yourself. And we're such a small place. If we dropped off of the North Sea tomorrow, as long as it's not March 17th, nobody would probably know. So we can get away with more than anybody on the face of the earth. And you can go over to San Francisco, and you can go over to Germany, and to Berlin, and to South Africa, and you can go to Nigeria, and you can sell stuff over there, and people will always be welcoming and happy to see you. And it doesn't matter if you're Irish or not Irish. Just mention the Dublin connection, mention the Irish connection, and you've got 100 new friends. And that's just the ones in the Irish pubs across the world, right? So, great place to do it. We've got access to capital. We've got access to mentors. There's somebody who's built a business very similar to yours just around the corner. And they're the first ones to go to and speak to. Because as one of our mentors, one of our teams went over to London the other day. And he was all excited. Andrew knows him. Games guy, one of our Romaniacs. And he goes over, he's got this great idea. It's a development platform for game developers, and it's all about trying to skirt under the legislation about gambling and create a one-on-one scenario for game players doing. And Andrew's going to kill me because I'm murdering this pitch, but it doesn't matter because he went over and he spoke to a guy over there who built this or tried to build this same business 5 years ago. 2002 they started. They sank $5 million in this and got nowhere and figured out exactly why. He went and he talked to him. In 5 minutes, he said, "Shit, this isn't going to work." 24 hours later, he's pivoted the business onto something else, and they started with that same morning a new business idea. Slight tweak. They started with 50 users. By nighttime, there were at 1,000 users. With like 50 likes on Facebook, everybody commenting saying this is fantastic, best game you've ever seen, blah, blah, blah. And all of that came because he got out of the building. He had a team behind him ready to execute on the input that he had received from a customer or a partner, He's building an online game, but he's doing it in an offline way for the first few months, and he's doing it fast. So that's it. If anybody has any questions or want to get in touch with me, I didn't talk about a lot of stuff that I do, but there's lots of opportunity. We do Tuesday night dinners in boot camp on Barrow Street in the factory. It's a cold warehouse, so bring some warm shoes and jacket. And on Friday mornings we do breakfast. If anybody wants to stop by and just hang out with us, send me an email beforehand or a text or something like that. My phone number is stupidly on the web. And I'll try and sort you out with an extra burrito or something like that. If you're quick, you might get a pizza or something. So thanks very much.